Want to record pro quality tracks at home in 2025? With so many gear options, it's easy to waste money on things you don't actually need. After years of setting up home studios, I've narrowed it down to 6 essentials that'll get you killer recordings without breaking the bank. Everything I mentioned is in the description, so make sure you check it out below for the latest deals. First, you're going to need an audio interface. This is what connects your instruments and microphones into your computer for recording. Without one, you won't be able to record at all. The Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 Gen 4 is my top pick for a few reasons. It's easy to use, it sounds clean, and it has 2 inputs, so you'll be able to record vocals and an instrument at the same time. It also has high quality preamps, which means you'll get a clear, professional sound without unwanted noise or distortion. One of the biggest upgrades in the 4th gen is air mode, which adds a slight high-end boost to make vocals and instruments sound clear. This is especially useful if you're using a dynamic mic like the SM7B, since it naturally has a darker sound. Another reason this interface stands out is the audio quality. It uses the same high-end inputs found on Focusrite's more expensive gear, which means your recordings will sound more detailed and natural without extra processing. Everything you record is going to come out clean and full, so you have great recordings right from the start. The Scarlett 2i2 is also bus powered, meaning you don't need an extra power adapter. It runs straight off your computer's USB-C connection. This makes it perfect for home studios and even mobile recording setups. That's essential number 1. Next, we'll talk about the mic setup that actually works for home recording. Your microphone is one of the most important parts of your setup. You can have great plugins, but if your source isn't good from your microphone, there's only so much you can do to fix it later on. And a lot of beginner mics just don't sound that great. Some pick up too much background noise, some are too harsh, and some just don't work well in a home studio. Instead of wasting money on something you'll outgrow quickly, I'm going to give you 2 microphone recommendations that are going to give you professional results and last you for years. First is the Shure SM7B. This mic is legendary for vocals because it gives you that full upfront sound without picking up a ton of room noise. It's a dynamic microphone, which means it naturally rejects background noise, which is huge if your recording space isn't perfectly treated. This microphone, which I'm using right now, has been used on some of the most iconic records, and it's one you'll never need to upgrade. But since it's a low output mic, you'll need to turn the gain up quite a bit. So having a good interface with clean preamps like the Scarlett 2i2 is important. If you want a condenser microphone that picks up a bit more detail, the Audio-Technica AT4040 is a fantastic option. It's crisp and clear, but doesn't sound overly bright or harsh like some cheaper condensers do. Because it's a condenser microphone, it's more sensitive than the SM7B, so it works great for vocals, acoustic guitars, and even drum overheads if you ever want to expand your setup. So whether you go for the SM7B or the AT4040, both of these microphones are going to give you professional quality recordings in a home studio environment. If you're finding this helpful, check out the links in the description where I've listed all the gear I recommend. Next, we'll talk about monitoring. Before worrying about monitors, we need a good set of headphones for tracking and mixing. A good set of headphones is going to let you hear all the details in your recordings, and it helps you make better mixing decisions. My top recommendation is the Audio-Technica ATH M50X. These are the most popular studio headphones out there because they give you balanced, accurate sound without overly boosting the bass or the treble. One of the main reasons I recommend these for beginners is that they're closed back. This means they'll block out external noise and won't leak into your microphone while you're recording. So if you're tracking vocals or instruments, you won't get headphone bleed in your recordings. They're also built really well. I've had a pair for years and they've held up through daily use. The ear pads are comfortable, the headband is adjustable, and they fold up for easy storage. The M50Xs are great because they also have a detachable cable, so if the cable ever gets damaged, you can just swap it out for a new one instead of replacing the whole pair. So if you're looking for a great all-around pair of headphones for recording and mixing, I would recommend the Audio-Technica ATH M50Xs. That's essential number 4. Next, we'll talk about why studio monitors matter and which ones I recommend for beginners. Once you're ready to move from headphones to speakers, you're going to need studio monitors. Not just regular speakers or gaming speakers, but actual flat response monitors that are going to let you hear your mix in an accurate way. I personally use the Atom A7Vs, but for beginners I recommend the Atom Audio T7Vs. They offer a similar level of clarity and low-end punch, but at a more affordable price. One of the biggest reasons I recommend the T7Vs over other budget monitors is the UART ribbon tweeter. This is Adam's signature design, and it helps produce a smooth, detailed top end without the harshness you get from some cheap monitors. And let's talk about bass response. Unlike most beginner monitors that have 5-inch woofers, the T7Vs have a 7-inch woofer, which gives you much better low-end definition. That's especially important if you're mixing genres where kick drums and bass need to sit properly in the mix. To connect these, you'll need TRS to XLR cables, which we'll cover in the next section. And if you can, placing them on isolation stands or pads will help reduce unwanted vibration, so it'll give you a clearer sound. That's essential number 5. Now let's talk about your must-have accessories that'll make your setup actually work. One of these is a piece of gear that most beginners skip until they realize their recordings sound off. Don't make that mistake. Your mic is going to be useless without a good XLR cable. Cheap cables can introduce noise, interference, and even break easily. That's why I generally recommend Hose Up Pro cables. They're durable, reliable, and won't degrade your sound. A bad quality cable might seem like a small issue, but it can introduce static, crackling, and even signal dropouts. Things that are super frustrating when you're in the middle of a recording session. So investing in a quality cable from the start is going to save you a lot of hassle later. This next set of cables is your TRS to XLR cables. These are going to connect to your studio monitors on the XLR side and to your interface on the TRS side. You want balanced TRS to XLR cables because they help reduce noise and interference. Crucial if you want a clean sound. Many people don't realize that cheap or unbalanced cables can cause humming, buzzing, or even signal loss, things that will throw off your mixes. Using high quality balanced cables ensures you're getting the clearest, most accurate sound possible. Next up is a microphone stand. A solid mic stand is a must. Cheap stands are going to fall over, break, or they won't stay in place, and that's the last thing you want in the middle of a recording session. The Gator framework stand is sturdy, adjustable, and will last you for years. A lot of budget stands tend to droop under the weight of heavier mics, especially something like the Shure SM7B. This one has a strong locking mechanism that keeps it exactly where you set it, so you're not constantly adjusting it during your session. Now here is the most overlooked piece of gear, the pop filter. Without one, your vocals will have harsh plosives, those annoying P's and B sounds that can ruin an otherwise great take. I recommend the Stedman Pro Screen XL because it's metal, so it'll last longer and it's easier to clean than fabric ones. Plus, instead of just blocking air, it actually redirects it downwards so your vocal stays clear and natural. Now that you've got the right gear, the next step is making sure your vocals actually sound pro. Even with the best setup, your vocals can still sound amateur if they aren't mixed properly. That's why I put together a full vocal mixing guide where I walk you through step by step how to get clear, polished, professional vocals even in a home studio. If you found this helpful, check the description for all the gear I recommend, and I'll see you over there.